What if the most dangerous man in the world is not the strongest, not the loudest, but the one who has mastered himself? In a world full of distractions, comfort, and excuses, discipline has become rare. And that is exactly why it is so powerful. Because when a man becomes disciplined, he becomes different. He becomes focused, calm, and unstoppable. Not because life becomes easy, but because he becomes stronger than everything that tries to break him. Most men want success, respect, and power, but very few are willing to do what it takes every single day. They wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait until they feel ready. But discipline does not wait. Discipline acts, even when you are tired, even when you don't feel like it, even when no one is watching. A disciplined man is dangerous because he cannot be controlled, not by emotions, not by comfort, not by other people. He wakes up when he is supposed to. He works when he doesn't feel like it. He keeps going when others stop. And over time, this consistency creates something powerful. It creates a man who cannot be easily broken. Think about this. Most people are controlled by their feelings. If they feel tired, they stop. If they feel lazy, they delay. If they feel afraid, they avoid. But a disciplined man does not negotiate with his feelings. He does what needs to be done regardless of how he feels. And this is what separates him from the rest. Discipline is not about punishment. It is about control. Control over your actions, your habits, your time, and your mind. And when you have control over these things, your life starts to change, because you are no longer reacting to life. You are directing it. Marcus Aurelius believed in self-control above all. He reminded himself daily that comfort is the enemy of purpose. And this is something most people ignore. Comfort feels good, but it slowly destroys your strength, your ambition, and your potential. Discipline, on the other hand, feels hard, but it builds you into someone powerful. A man without discipline is easily distracted, easily influenced, and easily defeated. But a man with discipline is focused, stable, and resilient. He does not chase everything. He chooses what matters and commits to it, and that commitment is what makes him dangerous. Discipline also protects you from your own mind, because your mind will try to trick you. It will tell you to quit, to rest, to avoid discomfort, to take the easy path. But discipline reminds you of your goals, your purpose, and your responsibilities, and it keeps you moving forward even when your mind wants to stop. There will be days when you feel like giving up, days when progress feels slow, days when nothing seems to work. And in those moments, discipline is what keeps you going. Not motivation, not inspiration, but discipline, because discipline is built through action, not emotion. A dangerous man is not someone who harms others. He is someone who has control over himself, someone who does not lose his temper easily, someone who does not break under pressure, someone who does not depend on others for his happiness. He is calm, focused, and in control. When you build discipline, you build confidence, not fake confidence, but real confidence, the kind that comes from knowing you can rely on yourself, that no matter what happens, you will show up, you will work, and you will continue moving forward. Discipline also builds respect, not by demanding it, but by earning it. Because people respect consistency. They respect strength. They respect someone who does what they say they will do. And over time, your actions speak louder than anything else. But here is the truth most people don't want to hear. Discipline is boring. It is repetitive. It is uncomfortable. It requires sacrifice. And that is why most people avoid it. But that is also why it is so powerful. Because what most people avoid is exactly what creates greatness. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you become stronger. Every time you push yourself when you don't feel like it, you build resilience. Every time you stay consistent, you build momentum. And this momentum changes your life. The Stoic way is simple. Do what needs to be done, without excuses, without delay, without depending on how you feel. Because feelings are temporary, but discipline creates lasting results. So start small. Build one habit, then another. Wake up on time. Control your time. Focus on your goals. Eliminate distractions. And most importantly, keep going, even when it is hard. Because in the end, the most dangerous man is not the one who controls others. It is the one who controls himself. And when you reach that level, nothing can stop you. There is a version of you that wakes up early without excuses, that works even when tired, that stays focused while everyone else is distracted. And deep down, you know that version exists. But most days, you choose comfort instead. You choose to delay, to scroll, to avoid the hard things. And slowly, without realizing it, you start drifting away from the person you could become. Imagine two men living the same life, same opportunities, same environment, but different choices. One follows discipline, the other follows comfort. At first, there is no visible difference. Both look the same, both live the same routine. But over time, the gap begins to grow. One becomes stronger, more focused, more respected, while the other becomes weaker, distracted, and full of regret. And the reason is simple. One chose discipline every day. There is a silent battle happening every morning. The moment you wake up, your mind tells you to stay in bed, to rest a little more, to delay your responsibilities. And in that moment, you have a choice. Follow your feelings or follow your discipline. And that one decision may seem small, but repeated every day, it shapes your entire life. Most people underestimate small decisions. They think success comes from big actions, big moments, big changes. But the truth is, your life is built in the small moments, in the choices no one sees, in the discipline you show when no one is watching, because that is where character is built. There will be days when you feel exhausted, when nothing seems to go right, when progress feels invisible, and your mind starts whispering, "What's the point?" And this is where most people quit. But a disciplined man keeps going, not because he feels motivated, but because he made a decision to not stop, and that decision becomes his strength. Another story many men live is regret. Looking back and realizing how much time was wasted, how many opportunities were missed, how many chances were ignored because of laziness, fear, or distraction. And that regret becomes heavy, because deep down you know you could have done more. You could have been more, and that pain is harder than any discipline you avoided. Discipline may feel hard in the moment, but regret is harder over time. And this is the truth most people realize too late. They avoid the pain of discipline now, only to face the pain of regret later. But a Stoic chooses differently. He accepts short-term discomfort to avoid long-term regret. There is also a moment when discipline starts to pay off. Not immediately, not quickly, but slowly. You begin to notice changes. Your mind becomes stronger, your focus sharper, your confidence deeper. And you realize something powerful. You are no longer controlled by your emotions. You are no longer easily distracted. You are no longer weak. This is when discipline turns into identity. It is no longer something you force. It becomes who you are. You become someone who shows up, someone who follows through, someone who doesn't quit easily. And that identity is what makes you dangerous. A dangerous man is not loud. He does not need to prove himself. He does not chase attention, because his strength is internal. He knows what he is capable of, and that quiet confidence is more powerful than anything else. In the end, life will test you. It will challenge your discipline, your patience, your focus. And in those moments, you will either fall back into comfort or rise through discipline. And that choice will define who you become. So when it gets hard, when your mind tells you to stop, remember this: every time you choose discipline, you are becoming stronger. Every time you keep going, you are building a version of yourself that most people will never reach. And one day, you will look back and realize it wasn't talent, it was not luck, it was discipline that made you unstoppable.